Your calendar section of your Training Peaks account here is just like a traditional calendar. It's going to have your weeks and days laid out in a grid fashion that we're all familiar with. But its functionality is going to be more than just a flip calendar that we're going to hang on the wall, as you're going to see. Here I have a week of workouts planned. As you can see, I've started the week off with a day off. We're not going to work out every single day. We are going to have days off as well as recovery focuses for particular days. But again, we're also going to have varying workouts throughout the week. And as you can see here on the side of the week, there's a totality of the week, as you can see. So total duration for the week is going to be about 7 hours worth of working out. As you complete workouts throughout the week, and as you can see, if I've completed this workout, it turned green. I want you to turn as many of these workouts green as possible. That means you completed these workouts, but not only completed them, but you did them very closely to the way that they were meant to be done. But continuing on here, it's broken out into 35 minutes worth of swimming or yardage, about 1,600 yards for this week, 3.5 hours of biking, 50 minutes worth of running, and 2 hours worth of strength training. So you can see all of that added up together and broken out. Here are these three numbers again: our fitness number, our fatigue number, and our form number. We're going to go over those a little more in detail here in our dashboard video that's coming up. But again, that number is going to continually be in front of you so that you can see that number continually growing, we hope, your fitness number, and of course these fatigue and form numbers doing their thing so that we know exactly what we're doing. Are we recovering well? Are we hitting the levels of fatigue that we need to generate change and adaptation by the body? And then finally, down here below, these are pretty generic at the moment, but as time goes along, I'll have very specific focuses for you that you'll see here. And I'll mention from time to time, focus on your limiters. And that could be endurance, it could be speed, it could be any number of things that we'll have a focus on for this particular week. So again, within these training plans that I'll provide for you, these are not a cut and paste type of plan. These are customized, and as I customize them, they will be built to your needs again and your limiters. To complete a workout, so as an example, if we have completed this bike workout, we just simply click on it, and we're going to have this screen here pop up with all this information. So if we completed the bike workout, we can manually input that information, or if we've connected our smartwatch or any other app that tracked it, such as a Strava app or a Zwift app, for example, with the bike, then those apps are then going to automatically populate these workouts and complete them automatically for you and turn them green or whatever color they may turn, as you'll see here in a moment. As an example, if we didn't complete a full 2.5 hour bike ride in this example and we only got an hour done, it's going to turn our workout orange. And this just is visually representing we did the workout but didn't quite complete it, all of it. If we, on the other end, we rode for 4 hours, it's also going to turn it orange. And so, in other words, just a visual representation that we didn't complete it as planned. It's not necessarily a bad thing all the time, but when we see orange, it just means we haven't completed it as planned. If we don't complete it at all and it goes to the next day, let me show you this here. I'm going to discard this. And let's say I do not do this hour of training and I save and complete that. It should have turned that red. Let's see. Let's take out all the information, save and close, and there we are. So if we go through a day and we have not completed that workout at all, then it'll just be red. And then finally, let me finish my workout appropriately and then go back to our bike example. If we have completed this workout, it's going to turn it green. Or excuse me, one more example. Let's say we rode 2 hours, not 20 hours. We want to ride 2 hours. Actually, let's ride, it's still turning it green, 1 hour and 45, oh goodness, 1 hour and 45 minutes. There we are. I was far enough away. So if we get close to completing the workout as prescribed, but we don't quite get close enough, there is another color here and it's yellow. And so that gives me a visual indication that you completed this pretty close, but not as close as you could have, as an example. Other things to notate is how you felt during that ride or run or workout, whatever it may have been. Did you feel absolutely terrible? And it's going to populate that up here and notify me. It'll notify me in all of these. So not just if you felt terrible, but did you feel fantastic? And then finally, your perceived exertion. So this is also really important because even though your metrics you might have stayed within the metrics prescribed, like stay in zone 2, avoid zones 3 through 5, as I mentioned in this ride, but you felt really like it was a lot. You felt like you were really giving a lot. That's a telltale sign that maybe we should do some more endurance training. If it felt really easy, as an example, as it should in zone 2, then maybe that's also indicative of you're recovering well because it felt really good to you. So just let me know how you felt through that. And then post-activity comments here. Let me know how the ride went. Let me know how your fueling and hydration went, how you felt. Give me a little more notes on what your perceived exertion felt like and why do you think it felt like that. Why did you feel strong or weak, or leading up to this, did you have some sleep issues the night before that you feel like affected this? And then finally, list your equipment here. So from the settings video, my bike has populated here, so I can select that bike, and so that then I can keep track of how many miles, again, that I have ridden on that bike. If this were a run, we could select the shoes that we ran in for that particular workout. And then we save and close that, but I will cancel it for sake of demonstrating here. Our weather again is going to populate here from the settings that we talked about in our previous video. And I really like that feature again because we're able to clearly see what's going on here in the calendar if we need to move something around. As an example, our swim day is going to be on a rainy day, so that might be a good place to leave that workout. And then again, our bike is going to be in our run on these sunnier days. But I can see it's going to be cool. It's going to be a little warmer out here. I don't like to ride under 45 degrees, so maybe I might switch this bike over to Saturday or Sunday as an example. Now there will come a time where I don't want you to move workouts. These workouts are designed to be in order and I don't want you to move these or mess around with the order of them. However, earlier in a season where that's less important, well, we'll talk about that. Certainly feel free to move a workout from one day to the next. But again, let's have a conversation. You'll notice down here below each of the days there's going to be a plus sign. The same feature is going to be on your app. It's just going to be a plus sign in the app. And you can add various workouts here that you may have done in addition to what was prescribed. But I want to point out these other things down here in particular first. So as an example, say you went skiing with some friends, you can input that. If there's something else you did, like you played pickleball or went golfing or anything like that with some friends or family members, certainly feel free to put those activities in as well. That's going to give me an idea of what type of fatigue you may also have if you went golfing and walked 18 holes the day before a bike ride. I may change the bike ride a little bit, or a run as an example, because you did something that's going to affect the training plan. Not necessarily a bad thing, but as you are putting those things in, it helps me understand why a workout also may not have gone as planned, or it may just be something good to put in as something to change it up, especially through the winter months. Go play lots of golf, play pickleball, and really work on the mental aspect of training to do something a little different. Then these metrics down here, I'll start here with this metric. These are the metrics, again, that we talked about in the settings video. Again, weight, sleep hours, sleep quality, fatigue, overall feeling, etc., etc. And then your notes section down here. This pulse section is what I like to record your resting heart rate in. So on a daily basis, if you can, right as soon as you wake up, I want you to take your resting heart rate. Now, if you have a device that automatically tracks that, like a ring, a bracelet, a watch, something like that, then that may already auto-populate these fields for you every single day. If they don't, just come in and manually add these metrics again in the calendar with that plus sign. This blood pressure here, you don't have to do every day, of course. Most of us don't have blood pressure machines, but anytime you go to the doctor's office, they'll provide you a printout of your visit, and oftentimes they take your blood pressure as part of your visit. You can put that in here. Anytime you visit Walmart or Walgreens or CVS or any of these stores that, like a grocery store, Harris Teeter, or any of those that have pharmacies, and they have the blood pressure machine that you can sit down at, take 2 minutes and take your blood pressure and input that metric into your Training Peaks plan. Because when we get to our dashboard, you'll see how we can graph all of these metrics, and it'll be really neat to see your blood pressure, as an example, graphed over a training season. And then, of course, these other metrics like sleep and sleep quality. Again, let me just know, is it good, average, poor, horrible? Those different drop-down menus are going to give me an idea, and they're quick to fill out. HRV, you may not be able to take this unless you have an app on your phone or a device that's connected, but this is really important, along with, if you don't have this metric, that's why I've asked for motivation and mood. HRV, in addition to the other things that it's going to tell us, is a really good indicator. It's really that global metric of what's going on in your life. In other words, you're not going to talk to me about maybe an argument with your spouse that's created a lot of stress in your life. You're not gonna probably tell me about, the work overload at work, or your dog dying, or something like that that creates stress in your life. but your resting heart rate and your heart rate variability picks up on those. And like I said, it's kind of a global metric that helps me understand what's happening outside of work training at work or at home. And so, as an example, if your resting heart rate starts to rise, that's an indication of number one, you're not recovering. So, it might fall in line when you graph these of your overall feeling and stress and fatigue. It's also an indicator of potential sickness. You can see a sickness coming on, an illness, before it even hits you several days in advance because your immune system's starting to fight it and your heart rate's going to start coming up. So again, these metrics are highly important. Take some time to do those on a daily basis if you can. It doesn't take long at all. The next metric here we'll talk about is availability, or this functionality. So this availability is really important for me in planning for you. Let me know what's going on in your life. In other words, let me know about vacations that are coming up, work trips that are coming up, any reason you may not be available on a particular day, such as sickness or an injury or, some type of appointment that you're going to go meet with your CPA and you just don't have any time after work because your evening's taken up to train that particular day. Let me know those things. And so as an example, let's say you're on a work trip, you are unavailable to train. Let's put that on Saturday the 21st. Then that's going to show up here as a red bar as unavailable. So I'm not going to plan a workout that particular day for you. On the flip side, let's say you are on vacation. Let's say you're going to the beach. Then it's going to list certain sports that may be available. So let's say in the hotel you have a gym and you could do some strength training while you're on vacation, and you could run on the beach, so you could do some running. When you save that on your calendar, it's going to give me a yellow bar. So as I'm planning for you here, then I'll be able to look and see, oh, he can do some strength training and running. And so I'll drop in some running or strength training on that day as an example, because you've let me know that those are available. So that's the availability functionality. Then next is notes. So we've already gone over the events and the goals. You can add additional events and goals from here or the home page as we discussed earlier. But the notes functionality here brings up just simply a place where you can write something down. I want you to do all the notes that you can as opposed to maybe emailing me or texting me if it's related to your training itself. That way it's in the plan and we have it on particular dates, which gives us the ability to go back and look at things if we need to. But good things to talk about are maybe just a weekly report. Just put in weekly report and give me a basic breakdown of maybe how the week went, and talk about maybe some things more broadly than you did in the post-activity comment section of the individual workouts themselves each day. Other things that would be good to report would be maybe doctor appointments throughout the week. Or maybe you're not going on a weekly basis. I was thinking more of maybe like a physical therapist. Let's say you had a knee injury and you're visiting with a physical therapist on a weekly basis. Then let me know about that. What did you talk about? How is it feeling? And give me those notes and details here. And then when you save those, it's going to, again, populate on the calendar here so we can go back and read those if we need to. The nice thing is, too, if it's all inside Training Peaks, all of our communication, then we can simply come up here to our search hourglass or magnifying glass, and find anything that we've typed in, which is really, really helpful and productive. So again, utilize all of these functionalities here to help communicate and keep your training plan on track. And that is basically your calendar.